I'm Kirk Hordle, founder of Waldensia Virtual Multifamily Office, and I serve blue collar business founders by helping them reduce taxes, structure estate plans, increase cash flow, and ultimately create clarity in the finance part of your business. Today, we're going to chat about eliminating the parasite that has found its way into your ecosystem. You work hard to grow your business and work harder than most people on this planet. You're up before the sun. You pour concrete, run wire, weld steel, move earth, lay pipe in trenches, climb ladders, and build the world we live in. Your hands are proof of that. And yet, at the end of every month, you still feel behind. You're working more than your father ever did, but building less than he did, and there's less to show for it in the bank account. Why is that? I'm gonna tell you exactly why. More importantly, I'm gonna show you what you can do about it. Because somebody has figured this out a long time ago, and they've been counting on us to not figure this out. I've personally been going deep into a guide called The Coming Clean, put out by a group called the Solari Report. I'll put a link in the show notes for your own copy. These aren't social media gurus. This is a serious research group, financial, economic, community level stuff. And look, some of it's philosophical, but underneath all of it is a core message that every tradesman, every small business, and every working class person in America needs to hear. So I'm gonna break it down. No fluff, no financial degree required. Here's the big idea. Ready? The system we are all working in right now, banks, the big corporations, the media, the healthcare system, the educational system, the whole machine is described in this guide as a tapeworm, a literal parasite. Just like a real tapeworm, it survives on you and me living inside of us. It injects stuff into our brains, into our bodies that makes us crave it. The thing that feeds it. Fast food, credit cards, 72-month truck loans, student debt, subscription after subscription, gambling, and slight hopes of clarity that disappear. TV and menial things that keep you distracted instead of building something. You deposit your money at the mega bank. The bank loans it out at 20% interest on credit cards. That profit goes to dudes who don't care about us on Wall Street. Your paycheck and my paycheck makes them richer. And here's the kicker. The guide says fighting the tapeworm head on doesn't work. You can't argue with it. You can't vote it out of office. You can't elect it out. The only way to beat it is to stop feeding it. Starve it. Go to war and make this happen. Put your energy, your money, your family, and your attention away from it and put it somewhere real. Here's something most people don't think about. You vote every single day, not at a polling booth, with our money. Every dollar we spend is a vote. You're either voting for the tapeworm or you're voting for yourself and your community. When you bank with Chase or Bank of America, you're voting for Wall Street. When you buy from Amazon instead of a local supplier, you're voting for Jeff Bezos's yacht fund. When you finance that new truck you don't need, you're voting for a lending company that charges you 8% while paying your savings account 0.01%. Health insurance premiums are through the roof, and when you need to use it the most, it's an arm and a leg and thousands of dollars, really just for them to manage disease. Now, this guide isn't telling us to live off the grid and eat bark. It's saying be intentional. Start noticing where our money goes. I ask myself, is this who I want to support? I've personally moved my checking account to a local community bank. They're governed differently and the profits stay local. And you know what? They're usually easier to deal with. I personally also dropped Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance, where my monthly premium dollars were going against things that I believed in. Now, my family uses Samaritan Ministries, which is a Christian health sharing, and it's only $375 a month for our family of 6. When I snapped my bicep tendon last year, I only came out of pocket $1,200, and the difference was paid from 32 other families sending checks to our house to cover the surgery. That's community. There's always a way out of the corrupt system. I buy local when I can, I pay cash when I can, and for the love of everything, I stopped paying interest on stuff that's losing value the second it comes off the lot. Now look, here's where it gets real. This guide talks about something called living equity. Strange term, living equity. And this one hit me hard. Living equity isn't money in the bank. Can't go and tally it. It's not there on a spreadsheet. But this is the stuff that actually makes life worth living and that nobody can print more of and erode through inflation. What it is our health, our relationships, our kids, our neighborhood, our church, and our community. The people you can call at 2 a.m. when things go sideways. And right now, all of that stuff is under attack. Food most of us grew up eating is loaded with garbage. 1 in 4 people we know are expected to get cancer in their lifetime. Credit card debt is through the roof. Schools aren't teaching kids how to think. They're teaching them how to comply and how to continually feed the parasite. The media is disguised to keep us scared, angry, and distracted, hating one another, so we don't actually notice what's going on. So what can we do? We start by building real things and live without them, starve them. We grow some of our own food if we can. Every little tomato plant matters. Everything you do matters to starve the beast. We got to know where our water comes from. More importantly, we need to know our neighbors, actually talk with them, care for them, serve them. We need to build a circle of people we trust with our real problems, not just people we wave at. This guide has a great concept called the popsicle index. It's pretty simple. What percentage of people in our neighborhoods believe a kid can walk to the corner store, come back safe? That's a real measure of community health. If that number is low where we live, what can we do to raise it? That is living equity. That is real wealth. All right, now let's talk money, practical stuff. We need to understand how the money works around us. Most people, including myself at one time, had no idea how their paycheck actually flowed through the economy. I earned it, I spent it, and somewhere in the middle, a dozen of different hands reached in and took a bunch, taking their cut. I had to learn that. I had to get out of debt that was draining my family of future potential. Credit card debt, consumer loans, anything with high interest rates, I was running from. We paid off $20,000 of debt in our first year of marriage, and it was the best thing we've ever done. That is starving the tapeworm. That is punching it in the mouth and saying no more. I killed it as fast as I can, and I encourage you to. I also realized I have to pay myself first, even at the time when $200 was all that made sense, but it was something. I also started to understand that I need to invest in things that I understand. A piece of equipment for my business, a hire, things that made sense to me, something that I could actually physically understand. Helping a friend, start something cool, focusing on my inner circle. A small piece of land. I currently live on 1.25 acres with my own well. I also started understanding the precious metals markets. So when they print money, our wealth stays the same. Metals don't make you rich. They keep you rich. So really, I was investing in things that are real, not just numbers on a screen, managed by some guy who doesn't know me, who I've never met, who ultimately probably doesn't even like the way I live. The last thing was building a people bank. The relationships I invest in are a savings account. Now look, it's not that I'm only doing this so one day you help me. I'm doing it because I can. My community, my friends, my church, my network, that is an asset that is indescribable. One more thing, and most guys skip this one. It might be the most important. The guide talks about cognitive liberty, your right to think for yourself without being manipulated. I know, it sounds kind of like conspiracy stuff, but hear me out. We are being marketed to every single second. Our phone, our TV, driving around, social media, the mail, all of it is engineered by billion-dollar companies specifically to keep us consuming, keep us emotionally reactive, and keep us from thinking clearly about our own life. I've decided to use my smartphone as a tool, not a lifestyle. I do not allow my phone to notify me at all, except for text messages and a phone call, which is natural. I don't let my email interrupt me or any social media at all. And I put the phone down when I'm with my family. I also started spending more time outside, touching grass, literally going out into the sunlight, eating real food, hunting animals more, making fun out of it. The clarity of our mind is the most valuable asset we have. And right now, there are a lot of people who profit from us not having clarity. Look, I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm not getting paid to tell you any of this, but I want to leave you with this core message of this guide. And it's this: we have more power than we think. Every dollar we spend is a vote. Every person we invest time in is building our real future. Every hour we spend learning something real about money, about health, and about our community is pulling us out of this tapeworm economy and into something better and real. We don't have to do all 25 steps overnight that this guide suggests, but maybe just pick one thing. That's what I've chosen to do. And those one little things stack up over time. For me, it was moving my checking account to the local credit union, starting to learn about gold. It was sitting down and doing a real cash flow analysis of my home spending with my family, going deeper into the finance part of my business. Not just the money that we need to evaluate though, it's our time, the most special asset we have. I decided to delete social media Monday through Friday off of my phone. It's not on there. It's very peaceful. Growing up in the 90s, we had something special. Bikes, friends, call the landline, and somebody's mom would answer the phone. Guys who built this country didn't do it by staying plugged into a system designed to drain them. They didn't have a lot of the things draining them. Problems were different, but it's different now. They built stuff by being intentional, by building real things, by knowing their neighbors and trusting their communities. We must work hard, build real things, take care of our people, and stop feeding what's killing us. That's it. If this hit home, drop a comment, share it with somebody who needs to hear it, and subscribe, because we're going to go deeper on all of this in the coming videos. See you on the next one. And remember, you're one or two moves away from growing your business to a new level.